So, folks, what do you think about when you think about a good pair of denim pants? What do you guys think about that? Does the denim make you feel alive? Does it speak to you of, I don't know, the open road and pickup trucks and cattle and ranching? You guys think about that? You guys think about that? Well, I am here to play for you guys a new ad that is apparently very controversial. I have not seen it yet, and it's titled "Sydney Sweeney Has Great Jeans, American Eagle." Let's take a look.
I'm not here to tell you to buy American Eagle jeans. And I definitely won't say that they're the most comfortable jeans I've ever worn. Or that they make your butt look amazing. Why would I need to do that? But if you said that you want to buy the jeans, I'm not going to stop you. But just so we're clear, this is not me telling you to buy American Eagle jeans.
Sydney Sweeney has very keen.
You see what I did there, right?
Okay,
I'm not here to tell you.
Can we just talk about this feels weird and this might be controversial, okay? Might be controversial. I don't actually think that these jeans made her butt look good. That number one. I don't think her butt has problems. I just don't think that these jeans were working. But also the uncomfortable level of male gaze in this is weird, right? And
why would I need to do that? But if you said that you want to buy the jeans, I'm not going to stop you. But just so we're clear, this is not me telling you to buy American Eagle jeans.
Also, the feet being shown is a choice as well. In the A at the bottom, that's some Quentin Tarantino level shit right there, frankly. And I just want to throw out there that there is a level to this presentation that I find extremely off-putting. I'm going to play it one more time in its entirety here, okay?
I'm not here to tell you to buy American Eagle jeans. And I definitely won't say that they're the most comfortable jeans I've ever worn. Or that they make your butt look amazing. Why would I need to do that? But if you said that you want to buy the jeans, I'm not going to stop you. But just so we're clear, this is not me telling you to buy American Eagle jeans.
Sydney Sweeney has very keen.
You see what I did?
Also, can I, yeah, this will work to get my point across. There's something so uncanny about this commercial. I'm going to pair it with something else here. Let's see if you guys can maybe glom on to what I'm trying to put a finger on here.
I'm not here to tell you to buy American Eagle jeans. And I definitely won't say that they're the most comfortable jeans I've ever worn. Or that they make your butt look amazing. Why would I need to do that? But if you said that you want to buy the jeans, I'm not going to stop you. But just so we're clear, this is not me telling you to buy American Eagle jeans.
Sydney Sweeney has very keen.
You see what I did there, right?
It's really uncomfortable and awkward in we're in a deliberately artificial environment in an awkward office interaction that we can't escape from. And my head immediately connected that ad with Severance. And would you guys believe it if I told you that wasn't even the weirdest ad? That wasn't even the weirdest one.
Hey, it's Sydney on set with AE. My favorite pair of jeans is probably a straight leg or a baggy pair. On guys, straight leg.
Yeah, just, hey, you want some Sydney Sweeney ASMR talking about American Eagle jeans? Because, hey, we've got that for some reason. And, all right, what about this one?
Sydney Sweeney has very keen.
There's something really uncanny about this entire ad set. There's something really weird and off-putting, and it's difficult to put your finger on.
Sydney Sweeney has very canes.
Like, what is even happening? What is even happening? Stop it. Stop it. Are the genes AI? Am I supposed to know who Sydney Sweeney is? For a little bit of background, she's like an actress and a model that like conservatives are obsessed with because she's blonde, young, big boobs. Like, was she create? No, she's not created to sell the genes. Oh God.
Genes are passed down from parents to offspring, often determining traits like hair color, personality, and even eye color. My genes are blue.
Sydney Sweeney has very canes.
Yeah. So, remember how all of them are like uncanny as fuck and like really kind of like fetishizing like her body. Y'all kind of understand that. Now we kind of went in a backwards order so that I could build up how just weird this is. And I'm seeing some people don't get it. So let me be a little bit explicit about this, right? The premise of this ad campaign, and I'm just going to play this again real quick, is that she has great genes in the sense that she has great pants. But the first ad in this series makes it very clear that they're not just talking about her pants.
Genes are passed down from parents to offspring, often determining traits like hair color, personality, and even eye color. My genes are blue.
Blue-eyed, blonde hair, talking about genes, talking about how she has great genes. This, especially given the fact that she has a conservative following, like, this is very deliberately eugenics shit. This is eugenics far-right shit in an effort to reel in the conservative audience. I've only seen the last ad, so I was wondering why people were getting pissed. So the entire ad campaign is Sydney Sweeney has great genes, but the intent is that, not only does she wear good genes, she has good genes. You know, like it's disturbing. It's weird. She's a conservative. I don't know if she herself is conservative, but she is highly fetishized by the conservative community. They view her as a really desirable trad wife type. You know, you're a lesbian. What's your take? I think that first of all, I'm bisexual, but as a bisexual who's also interested in ladies, I don't find eugenics sexy. And in fact, when I see a product advertise itself with a wink and a nod towards eugenics, I think, oh, okay, not going to buy their stuff anymore. She isn't conservative. She was on Euphoria. I don't know. I don't know that you agree to be on an ad campaign like this and just not have any idea what you're doing. You know, like I just don't think I just don't think that that's like cool. I mean, like in attractive in other contexts, like if she wasn't like carrying water for Nazis, I don't know. She's not really my type. I know a lot of people think that she's attractive, but like she doesn't do it for me. So yeah. Like even setting aside like the fascist eugenics shit, she just wanted the money. I don't know. I think there are better ways to get money if you're Sydney Sweeney than agree to do an ad campaign talking about your good genetics. Like I think that there's a thing called having principles, and I think a lot of working people have principles that they stick to even if they don't make a lot of money, and she makes a lot of money. Like I don't know, like I feel like if you can have principles as like a day-to-day hourly waged employee, you can have principles as like a famous superstar model. You know, I know, controversial take. They could have gone with Kevin Sorbo. That would be so funny. I want to see the Kevin Sorbo version of this. God. All right. Anyway, of course, we have to turn to our number one beat reporter on the ground when it comes to all things, pop culture. our on-the-ground beat reporter, Brett Cooper.
The slightest. Let's see. The Sleeper has awakened, said, "Hey, Brett, I love your farm content. It's super wholesome. It's early hours in the morning where I am. As for Sydney Sweeney, I'm going to buy a pair of American Eagle jeans for Sydney. Hotness is so back." And that comment got 24 likes. Well, this is
Wait, I'm sorry. I'm going to buy a pair of American Eagle jeans
Hotness is
for Sydney? You're buying her the jeans she got on her photo shoot? Okay, I'm sure she'll really appreciate that, weirdo.
so back, and that comment got 24 likes. Well, this is a perfect transition into this next story because while women might be silent about the tea, they are certainly not silent about Sydney Sweeney. They are making their feelings very much known in a very, very annoying way. Now, this new American Eagle ad, I'm sure that you guys have seen it. You guys were commenting earlier as you were getting ready for the stream, and you're like, I know Brett is lurking, and you guys were having a whole debate about the ad. We're going to talk about that debate in a moment because I think you guys brought up some good points. But this ad, it's her like pulling on some jeans, and she is making jokes about having great jeans, G-E-N-S.
Is she making a joke? Because I've seen people make jokes before, and that didn't come across as a joke to me. I don't think that the joke that you're saying was a joke. I think she was doing a wink and a nod to people like your audience.
Because obviously she's hot and people talk about her attractiveness all the time. She's somebody who very openly leans into that.
No, I don't think her being fetishized by conservatives makes her conservative. If that were the case, I would be conservative. But I do think that agreeing to go and do an ad where you're winking and nodding at a eugenics idea that buoyed the whole Aryan race ideology spewed by Hitler, I think doing a wink and a nudge ad at all that kind of indicates the degree of conservatism.
But also she is wearing jeans, so it's kind of clever and it's funny. Is it
clever?
Watched it and was like, that's cool, that's nice. Like Sydney Sweeney is always doing more sexual ads. She did the Dr. Squatch ad with the bathwater. Like, none of this surprises me anymore. I actually think that it is a positive thing.
Wait, did she spell jeans out loud? Sorry.
E-E-N-S, because obviously she's...
Oh my god, I missed that. Holy shit, what?
About having great jeans, G-E-N-S, because...
Brett Cooper doesn't know how to spell jeans. Oh my god. I'm sorry. Holy shit. Okay, cool. Nailing it. Good job, Brett Cooper.
Because obviously she's hot and people talk about her attractiveness all the time. She's somebody who very openly leans
My
into
gens
that.
are good.
But also she is wearing jeans, so it's kind of clever and it's funny. And I watched it and was like, that's cool.
Wait, guys, maybe she just doesn't understand what's being referenced here. If she thinks that, maybe she thinks that jeans are a super secret third thing. Like you have denim jeans, you have DNA jeans, and then you have this secret third G-E-N S jeans. Just a totally different gene.
Nice. Like Sydney Sweeney is always doing more sexual ads. She did the Dr. Squatch ad with the bathwater. Like, none of this surprises me anymore. I actually think that it is a positive thing that she's just like leaning into it and kind of owning it. Like, she knows what works. But other people.
Does anyone mention it in her comments? That's honestly a great question. God, no one is mentioning it. No one is mentioning that she misspelled jeans. Oh no. Oh, okay, cool. All right, awesome.
Do not feel this way. The social justice warriors on social media think that this ad, this American Eagle ad where she's pulling on jeans, is a conspiracy to push eugenics and white...
No, it's not a conspiracy. It's just a dog whistle. Like, it's not... Like, dog whistles aren't conspiracies. They're just references to existing things in the cultural zeitgeist.
The Master Rack and their great gens.
Oh, God. Nine-tailed witch, thank you for the $5 dono.
Christian nationalist ideas. Literally, they are outraged at the idea that a company would have a beautiful blonde with blue eyes model their jeans and...
No, but like, it would be like if the equivalent dog whistle would be like if you had a commercial selling jeans and like the people pulling the strings and puppeteering the characters were like being puppeteered by Jewish people. Like it's like if you were having the jeans sold by like puppets on strings by Jews, and the puppets were like, look at all of these good genes. Like it would be like that. Except I think that would be maybe too blatant a dog whistle for you people. But genuinely at this point, I don't know how more on the nose you can get with a dog whistle than a blonde-haired, blue-eyed woman staring into the camera and talking about how great her genes are. I don't know how much more on the nose you can get aside from having, you know, Sydney Sweeney doing like a Sieg Heil. Like I genuinely don't know how much more on the nose you can get. Careful, Jack, you might give American Eagle some new ideas. Yeah, look, I was saving them for Shake Shack, but I guess American Eagle can get them too.
Talk about genetics. Just look at some of these tweets. It is literally insane. This was from a couple of days ago. This guy said, did they mean to include a bunch of Nazi dog whistles in this?
It was a Nazi dog whistle.
Literally saying that this.
I wonder if Brett Cooper opened this up, saw this tweet, and thought to herself, fuck, I misspelled jeans when I was spelling it earlier.
Hi, Ryan Gosling here for Das Übermensch jeans. I'm not saying these jeans make you better than others, but they do fit Reich.
Paladin, thank you for the $5 donut. Sorry, Ryan Gosling for Das Übermensch jeans. Thank you for the $5 donut.
Is Nazi. Here we go. Here's another one. Oh, ha ha ha, like jeans. I get it. She has good genes. Like she has good genes. Ha ha ha. Like in a Nazi way. Totally. I'm sorry. What world do you live in where you watch a video of Sydney Sweeney making jokes and doing her normal Sydney Sweeney sexual innuendo stuff and think, oh my gosh, Nazis? Like, what are you sitting around thinking about that on a daily basis? The answer is yes. They sit around, they scroll online, and they look for problems in things that are objectively not very problematic, that are just very normal, that people watch and go, huh, that's funny, or huh, she's hot, whatever, scroll on. Meanwhile, these people are sitting on their phones like, I need to find a way to be a victim. My life is too easy right now.
Well, the reason people would think that it's a dog whistle, and I'm going to explain this because not everyone comes with this baked in as like a schema, but the Nazis took an idea called eugenics, the idea that you can breed superior people with superior genes, and combine that with their Nazi esotericism, the idea that there was a mystical super race that once existed in Europe called the Aryans, and that it was the Third Reich's goal to rebuild the Aryan race and build a homeland for this super advanced, group of people, the Aryan race, that was blonde-haired and blue-eyed. So within living memory, because there are still some people who served in World War II around these parts, within living memory, there was a group of people who waged a war on the entire planet in order to prove and push forward this idea of the superiority of blonde-haired, blue-eyed people. And, it's been 80 years since then, not a terribly long time. That's still in our schema. So an advertisement coming along where a blonde-haired, blue-eyed woman stares into the camera and talks about her superior genes, and the joke is that she has better denim genes. Well, the point of the entire piece is to talk about not just the superiority of her denim genes, but also her biological genes. So that plays into that same idea that's been floating around and propagated for the last 80 years since the fall of the Third Reich. So that's why this idea is considered controversial and a bit of a dog whistle. And honestly, American Eagle was courting that. They were looking for that reaction because they're not morons. Because again, gets everybody talking about their product, and suddenly a lot of people are thinking about American Eagle jeans, and that's generally pretty good for their sales. That's how that works. It's not a crazy thing to point out that they're dog whistling. They know they did it on purpose in order to make more money. And that's kind of what's abhorrent about it, right?
I need to create a problem so that I can feel important. so that I can tell the world that everybody else is against me, that we are fighting against some white nationalist agenda that is the only reason why they are posting these types of things.
Yeah, fun related fact. You know how I told you guys that there's like a white nationalist community in Arkansas that's trying to expand to Missouri? Well, there's a Christian nationalist endeavor to do the same kind of thing in Tennessee, just as an FYI, because it's not an uncommon belief to have in a lot of places in America that there is a certain type of person who is genetically and inherently better than another type of person. This is especially common in conservative circles, which is why this ad was made to appeal to conservative men.
And you might think, like, okay, Brett, well, that was just a few posts. Like, those are, two quote tweets. What are you talking about? That was not the overarching response here. Okay, well, no, because it spread to TikTok. Take a look at a couple of these videos.
You guys are complaining about that Sydney Sweeney jeans ad, so I went and saw it. That's Nazi propaganda. Wow. I thought it was going to be like...
I always love, just real quick, I always love how people like Brett are like, look at all these liberal tears. And then like you watch the videos and it's like, wait, that's like a relatively like normal woman, like just going like, yep, that's a Nazi dog whistle. All right. It's crazy. Anyway, like they are like, this hasn't destroyed their lives. It's just kind of one of those things where like, oh yeah, that's some fashy shit. Anyway.
Kind of bad. That's gonna be in history book.
I will be the friend that's too woke because those Sydney Sweeney American Eagle ads are weird. Like fascist weird. Like Nazi propaganda weird.
It's cool. Okay. Like genuinely it just comes off as like, I don't know, conservatives are butt mad about the fact that libs who, normal everyday libs are looking at their like ads catered to conservatives and going, oh, y'all are into some crazy freak shit. Y'all are weird and off-putting. What the hell's wrong with you? And they're like, well, what the hell's wrong with us? What the hell's wrong with you? You think everything's Nazis these days. Meanwhile, Sieg Heil. Like they start goose-stepping away haughtily. Like it's just like we are beyond parody.
And guys, those are just two. Brad Palumbo posted this compilation. He did a whole thread about this. And I think that compilation went on for 3 minutes. And it did not even...
Wow, 3 minutes? Why, you could fit 3 whole TikToks into that. That's an astronomical amount of TikToks.
Include all of the other videos that I saw both on X and on TikTok, like all different types of women, all different ages, all saying the exact same thing, almost as if they had got their talking points from just like 2 tweets. And they're like, oh yes, obviously this person who tweeted this.
Well, no, it's actually pretty straightforward if you have any like grounding in historical ideas like eugenics, which you should, by the way. Just as an FYI, if you thought eugenics died out in the 1940s, let me be the first to remind you that in fact did not happen. And in fact, in a lot of different ways, there are a lot of eugenics-based ideas still incorporated in our society to this day, worth keeping in mind.
Makes complete sense. I'm just going to run with this. All saying the exact same thing that this ad of Sydney Sweeney making a joke, being hot, which is what she does, is actually Nazi propaganda. Like, again, you just can't make this stuff up. It's like you need to find something better to do with your life.
No, her being hot is politically neutral. The issue was the context of what was said and how she is presented in the commercial. Like, that should be pretty straightforward and easy to understand. Like, it's not her being like an attractive lady that people are upset about. That should be pretty clear.
Because if you're going to sit around and just make videos about how the world is against you and how every single thing, some things that are just completely normal and fine are these major problematic...
I'm sorry. You think it's normal and fine to talk about your superior breeding and genes? I want like to sit down with Brett Cooper and actually just like talk about these ideas a little bit, because genuine, I'm sorry, you're in circles where you guys sit down and talk about your breeding and your genes and your superiority to like others with different genes. No, that's deeply weird. That's deeply weird and off-putting. Any normal person would find that deeply weird and off-putting because it's a gross idea. It is gross to create a hierarchy of human beings based on the genes you happen to be born with. God, I feel like that should be obvious, but apparently it's not to Brett Cooper.
Awful things like, you need to go touch grass. Like, seriously, that is my response to you.
Especially because, keep in mind, the ad isn't just selling jeans, like denim jeans. It's also selling the ideas being played around with in the ad, right? Like, take, for example, the Sexy Hardee's commercial, right? Here, let's see. Sexy Hardee's commercial. Somebody already referenced it earlier in here, but let's, yeah, I think it's this one. Like, yeah, this commercial, I can't, like, the music is gonna get me pinged, but like, yeah, they braise the beef, they got boobies, they got bums, and then they eat the burgers. Hashtag meat embrace. It's really weird. But the thing you're trying to sell here is that, like, oh, yeah, the burgers look good, but also it's sexy to eat the burger. You want to associate sexiness with the burger, right? Like, you're selling other ideas here. You're selling emotions. You're selling like a bunch of other things. Like, advertising isn't just like getting something stuck in your head. It is getting an association stuck in your head, right? So what they're doing in the American Eagle ad here is they're not just selling the gene. They're selling the association with Sydney Sweeney, but that association is also being directly made to her good genes. As the camera focuses in on her blue eyes, and she looks into the camera and says, my genes are blue, and her like blonde hair is flowing. That is a deliberate association being made. That isn't an accident. It isn't like, it is being done deliberately, potentially as a method of like shock advertising in order to get people like us to talk about it, in order to get like conservatives to talk about it, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera, right? Kind of like how you had during like the Obama years or like the Biden years, you had, or even the Trump years, you had like razor companies show like trans men shaving for the first time in like ads and like supportive family members, and that got a bunch of conservatives to react to that in an outraged way. It is another way of doing that, but it's kind of telling that the way they went with it is with classic 1945 era eugenics racism. And that is the connection that they're making. Okay. So it's basically sexist to have attractive women in commercials now. No, that's not what I said. Having attractive women in your commercials is fine. The issue isn't attractive women. Notice how, for example, this is fine. Having sexy ladies eat your burgers, that is a method of advertising your burger. The interesting part about this, though, is that even though you have sexy ladies eating burgers, they aren't selling Nazism. In fact, they're selling like an idea of patriotism here. You know, like it is patriotic to eat the burger, and it's sexy and patriotic to eat the burger and have a big truck. In fact, if you have a big truck and you're patriotic and you want to be sexy, you should eat the burger. Like, that's the association being made here. And I'm not saying that's wrong or bad, but that's what the ad is doing. What I am saying, however, is that if you're putting into your ad, instead of patriotism, big truck, sexy ladies, instead you're putting eugenics, genes, and sexy lady, the eugenics thing is there and it's an issue. That's what I'm saying. I have nothing against sexy ladies. I like sexy ladies. So, like, that's, I hope that clears it up. And I hope we're all on the same page. I tried to lay it out as basically as I could.
But again, Like, I was looking at all of those, tweets.
But ads haven't worked on me since I took psych classes in advertising. But if you think that, makes them more effective.
And TikToks and a lot of things, like once you start interacting with something on, X or on TikTok, the algorithm feeds you more. So I was getting more and more of these videos. And so again, I kind of had to take a step back and I was like, okay, well,
eat burger, buy truck. Indeed. You understand, Rhyme Jack. You understand.
I'm obviously going to talk about this on the show, but it's probably still like a little bit fringe.
And I do want to be clear. I don't necessarily think that it's explicitly a Nazi ad, but I do think the association of blonde hair, blue eyes, and eugenics, that is an association that if you bring it up to most people, they're going to also associate that idea with Hitler. Like that is the association most people make with eugenics. And so, like, I'm not saying that they were trying to do a Nazi thing with it, but I am saying that, like, they were trying to do a eugenics thing, bare minimum. I think if there were more, like, Third Reich references in there, we could maybe say it's a Nazi thing. But, like, frankly, the eugenics stuff alone is bad enough.
Right? Like, these people are crazy. These people are crazy. This can't be, like, a serious opinion. But no, because then this idea made its way to the LinkedIn posters, the advertising employees that are posting all of their thoughts about all of these ad campaigns. It made its way there. Take a look at this one. This is from a woman named Kathy. And she said, "Tell me a group of white men came up with this campaign without telling me. American Eagle Outfitters is putting up billboards of a blonde, blue-haired actress with the phrase, Sydney Sweeney has great jeans. And they think this is a clever way to sell jeans. Let's not pretend this is harmless wordplay. This isn't cute. It's not cheeky. It is a tone-deaf nod to eugenics-era language that has..."
Wait, that's true, though. Wait, nothing Kathy Gilroy is saying is incorrect here. And honestly, she knows a thing or two about dog whistles. She works for a pet care and animal health company. She knows exactly what she's talking about when it comes to dog whistles.
No place in 2025, guys. Jokes have no place in 2025. It is a...
No, the issue isn't jokes as a concept. The issue is normalizing and spreading eugenicist ideas. That's the issue. If you tell a joke about eugenics, you should be prepared to maybe tell a better joke about eugenics. If, like, that's your intent, like, you should tell a better joke. Because if the joke is just, haha, all of you remember genetics? Remember that time a guy tried to form an entire nation around blonde-haired, blue-eyed people and killed millions? Haha, remember that? Buy our genes. Like, that's not a great... that you're doing, like, a referential humor. The joke there, at its heart, is just the observation that denim jeans and DNA genes both sound phonetically the same. That's the joke. That's not a good joke, actually. I don't know. I think that's pretty obvious. Like, one word sounds like other word. That would bomb at stand-up. If you went up on stage and you told that joke, they would boo you.
Dog whistle wrapped up in denim.
Like, that's a level of wordplay that my partner would groan and, like, shift away from me on the couch if I made it idly while watching television together. Okay, like that's the level of joke that we're talking about. And, like, to conservatives, it's like, comedy's dead. Like, no, it's just tell better jokes. Like, if all you've got are puns, like, Jesus Christ, up your game.
When you choose that phrase paired with that model, you are not selling denim. Dun, 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 dun. Oh my God, it's really, like, it's not that serious, Kathy. Really, it's not. It actually is harmless wordplay. I don't think that they were all sitting around in a conference room going, let's bring back eugenics. Yes, this is how we're gonna do it. We're gonna.
No, I don't necessarily know that they were doing that either. However, I will say that that's kind of what they did in effect. Like, best case scenario, it's a bunch of dipshit dude bros sitting around in a conference room coming up with that idea and rolling with it, and this is the result. That's the best case scenario. I don't know that it's necessarily 100% the case. I think that there was probably more calculation into getting people to respond to it negatively, specifically to spur a Republican conservative counter backlash to, like, buoy their sales numbers. But that is what I think is most likely. Maybe they were all dipshits. Who knows?
subvertly put these messages. No, I'm sure that it was a bunch of people.
No, ads are only ever what they say on the front of the box. Ads would never try and make different associations with their product and other products. Ads would never try something underhanded or deliberately weird in order to stick in your mind for weeks, if not months or years on end. Why, that would never happen. That would never happen. Oh, what's this?
Cause they are good to us. Secrets no subs. They are tasty, they are crunchy, they are warm because they toast them. They got a pepper bar.
Quiznos new Santa Fe Trio subs with smoky chipotle sauce. Fried chicken, roast beef, or smoked turkey.
Secrets no subs.
Quiznos.
Anyway, ads would never try something really weird to just stick in your head forever. That ad is definitely not 17 years old and still haunts the corners of my mind for being weird as shit. But sure, advertisers would never notice that Sydney Sweeney has a large conservative following and deliberately court said conservative following by doing exactly this. Definitely not.
Men and women going, who is like the actress of the moment? Who is somebody?
Oh my God. How does she talk about that? Sorry. How does she talk about this for another 20 minutes? Oh my God. How?
Who is hot? Who is cool that we could put in this ad? Oh, obviously, Sydney Sweeney. That makes sense. Oh, everybody says she's hot. Jeans. That's funny. Let's have her say that.
It's not funny though. Like it's a pun. Everyone knows that marketing people are the most ethical, which is why Don Draper was a good, moral, and likable character.
I guarantee that was the extent of the conversation. That is all they were doing. But you know what, Kathy, you are right, because American Eagle is not just selling denim. Like, good advertisements are not just selling a product. They are selling a feeling. They're trying to sell a brand identity, some kind of
or an idea even, one might say.
Brand appeal, which is why they hired a hot chick to do this. They're trying to kind of
definitely no other implications there. Just a simple pun and a hot lady. Definitely the only two aspects in their advertising campaign.
Do what, in my opinion, like Abercrombie has done really well, where Abercrombie and American Eagle were both brands that for many years felt like they had been left into the 2010s. They're trying to, make a comeback. They're trying to make a big splash. How are they going to do that? They're going to pay Sydney Sweeney a ton of money to be hot on screen to try to rebrand themselves. This really is not about jeans. It is about what people will feel or evoke when they put on those jeans. Or
like the evocation of superior genetics for blonde-haired, blue-eyed people. I like the amount of like trying to run away from this is ridiculous. It's right there in the ad. It's not even like subtle. Like, I feel like I'm being gaslit here, but like just real quick here.
Genes are passed down from parents to offspring, often determining traits like hair color, personality, and even eye color. My genes are blue.
Yeah, I'm sorry, blonde-haired, blue-eyed, talking about her genetics. There's a connection here, and it's pretty obvious to me.
Represent American Eagle out in the world. So no, it's not just about denim, but also it's not about eugenics. It's not a dog whistle wrapped in denim pushing white.
I'm sorry, but like I don't know, like Matt Walsh talks about like IQ and like race science now like all the time on his channel. Conservatives in their circles talk about the connection between like Africa and IQ all the time. They talk about like the warrior gene in like black people. Like they talk about like these different eugenicist concepts all the time. This isn't like a niche reference to make for a conservative audience. Yeah, personality traits are determined by your genes. Makes you think.
Nationalist ideas. Like, seriously, again, get your head out of the sand, go touch grass, kick a couple rocks, could be great for you. Maybe go pet a cow.
And for your part, Brett, maybe open a history textbook. Might help you a little bit.
That's what I do when I need to calm down. I recommend doing that. I have another one.
And I would recommend reading some books so you know what the fuck you're talking about.
here. This was my personal favorite of the of the LinkedIn posts. By the way, guys, if you're not on LinkedIn, it is a hysterical social media site. Like
it's not. It's like it's a horrible hell site. It's like the professional version of Twitter.
I watch Alex. I was not really on LinkedIn ever, and I'm still not. But he finds more entertainment with these types of people on LinkedIn than he does on X or on Instagram. Like, that is where he goes for his entertainment, because posts like this are so ridiculous. All right, we can go into the next one here. This is from a woman named Bridget. And she starts off this post by saying, fascists are unfunny and uncreative.
Wait, but that's true. Wait, Bridget is spitting. I want to hear more.
Those are the people who put together this ad. They're all fascists. And then she talks about the ad, and then she moves on, and later on in her very long post, she, of course, blames this ad on Trump. Here we go. We can move on to the next one. With everything going on with this administration, everything going on with this administration is making room for this in mainstream advertising and ultimately pop culture. Eugenics, racism, ableism. We're adding a new ism into this ad now.
Well, if you're referencing eugenics, the eugenics movement had a huge degree of ableism inside of it, because you're saying people with defective or deficient genes should be eliminated from the gene pool. This is where you get like a lot of policies regarding like sterilization, for example. The state being able to decide who is acceptable to breed and who is not. So this is not a new ism tied in there. It was there the second we started talking about eugenics, as was racism. Well, this is the thing. I'm seeing some people being like, but wait, how can Brett Cooper not know this? Because Brett Cooper doesn't know anything. None of these people know anything. All of these Republicans don't know shit about shit. All these conservative talking heads are just there to reinforce preconceived biases. They don't have the capacity for critical thought. They don't engage with any of the actual substance on these issues.
We're seeing...
She literally... Yeah, I guess I don't... I need to reiterate. She didn't even know how to spell the word genes from genetics. She just doesn't know anything. None of these people like her know anything.
This... normalized at speed.
Gens.
It is propaganda. It is a dog whistle. Everything is...
Wait, maybe she was spelling it with like a California accent. I'm gonna go get some gens. Do you guys have good gens here? I love gens. Hello. I have a gens condition. Like, it's just... There's one concept I'm failing to understand. Maybe I can help you out. What's the thing you're having trouble grasping? Hey, Jen, how's your gens? Are your gens good, Jen? Can I explain the dog whistle more thoroughly and be crystal clear about it? So the dog whistle, and a dog whistle is just a reference to a cultural touchstone that might not be immediately apparent to anyone in like outside of a certain in-group. The dog whistle here is that she is talking about, her genetics and what her genes are. Here, let me break it down here. We'll watch this one more time.
Genes are passed down from parents to offspring.
Right? So she's beginning to talk about how genetics works, how that works, where you get your genes from.
Often determining traits like hair color, personality, and even eye color.
So then she starts talking about how genes determine a lot of aspects about a person, right? Especially eye color. Famously, if you're referencing eye color, you're talking that there's only been one prominent place that I know of in this particular vein of the world that references a strong preference for blue eyes, and it's white nationalist eugenicist ideas based largely on the Nazi model. But let's let it continue. Maybe it's not going in that direction.
My genes are blue.
So she looks into the camera and says, my genes are blue, and she has blonde hair. This is a reference to a very specific eugenicist archetype codified in not codified, but like highly mainstreamed by the Nazi era Aryan movement. But on top of that, then superimposed over that is Sydney Sweeney has great genes. And that joke, that pun goes both ways, right? So, she has great denim, and great genetic material that has determined her body. That's what it's trying to say. She has high quality genes and high quality genes. And the issue is, if you're talking about having high quality genetics, that's already a eugenicist idea.
I'm surprised Brett didn't call her a SLT for doing this without a bra, but I guess the racism overrode the sexism.
I saw the ad, they said jeans. I don't know what you're talking about, Caesar V. Yeah, a dog whistle is like a meme, right? Crochet Whimsy, but it's a meme that generally just makes sense to the people who are looking for it. For example, if you're doing like a Nazi dog whistle and you talk about how, or you like incorporate 1488 into like a piece of messaging that you're putting out, that would be a dog whistle to like other Nazis, right? Does that make sense? Because normal people don't understand what 1488 means, right? They don't get that. To them, that goes over their head. That's just a useless, pointless piece of information, right? However, for people who know to recognize that, they're like, I see what you did there. You guys are with us. A good example of this from just recently is this particular post from the Department of Homeland Security. A heritage to be proud of, a homeland worth defending, American progress, John Gast. And the capitalized letters here, A being 1, D being 4, 14, 88, HH, Heil Hitler. This is another example of an explicitly Nazi dog whistle. It is a reference, right? I talked about this a little bit on stream a couple days ago, but this is another example of what a dog whistle is. The Sydney Sweeney ad is a dog whistle as well, but for the idea of eugenics. And honestly, it's not even really a dog whistle. It's just explicitly eugenics based. Calling it a dog whistle is maybe too soft a term. They literally put it in big text over the screen that she has great genes in both senses.
It's a dog whistle. How did she get ableism? Because Sydney Sweeney is on the floor and is pulling on jeans, like she is physically able to do that. Is it ableism?
Banana Brains, I don't remember where that's going to wind up. It's probably not going to be its own standalone segment. It's probably in the Everything's Falling Apart video.
Because for once it's not a disabled person in an advertisement.
Could it just be boobs plus controversy equals money? I'm entirely willing to grant that. AZ anything, I'm entirely willing to grant that, but I find it particularly worrying that the controversy being courted here is eugenics, right? Like, there are other controversies you can stir up, like, for an example of like an innocuous one, and maybe this doesn't count, but it like maybe media attention. Do y'all remember when at the Super Bowl they killed Mr. Peanut? And then there was Baby Nut? That's maybe an example of like a controversy or attention thing without boobs that makes more money. That was a weirdly successful thing for Mr. Peanut to do. No, it's a whole thing. I'm not going into that right now. But what we're looking at here is not just boobs plus controversy. It's boobs plus a very specific kind of controversy. Like, again, the Hardee's ads had boobs and were controversial for having a lot of boobs, but that's not an inherently problematic thing on the level of, hey, that seems like you're pushing that Aryan race thing that Hitler did. There's a bit of a difference, right?
American Eagle has found themselves between a rack and a hard place.
Oh, Sake Tanuki, sometimes you really fucking land that plane. Sometimes you really fucking land that joke. It's so good. They act like anything happens by accident in an ad campaign. Like, if that's in there, it's intentional. The people in that room absolutely know what they're doing. I'm entirely willing to believe that a room of like boardroom idiots came up with the initial idea. But the fact that no one said anything to like stop this from becoming the ad, it says a lot. It says a lot.
I'm sorry, there are non-disabled people in the world who also might like to be represented. Like, that's not ableism. That's just normal. I'm sorry. Like, I genuinely do not understand how she got.
Well, the ableism is eugenics. Eugenics as an idea is inherently ableist. Like, for example, under certain eugenics rankings of desirability, or like who deserves to live in, like, say, certain societies based on different valuations of different genetic traits, could vary wildly. That can vary wildly based on the group of people deciding those traits and what they should be. And like, genuinely, there could be, you can conceive of a group of people making the decision that Brett Cooper has inferior genes and must therefore be culled from the population. Like, again, that's because this ideology is inherently ableist.
To ableism, but you know what? Hey, Bridget, sure, let's blame Trump. Let's try that. Let's try your idea that we're going to blame Trump. Let's blame Trump for eradicating advertising and marketing that was solely focused on featuring overweight models and grotesque, unattractive messaging in favor of conventional
Growth. What are you talking about? Can we get any examples? Like, can we get any examples of American Eagle doing the advertising you're talking about?
hot chicks in cute jeans. Sure, let's blame him.
I'm missing the importance of 1488. Yeah, 14, 1 stands for A, 4 stands for D, and those two stand for Adolf Hitler. And then the 88, that's HH, which Heil Hitler. Now, you might be saying, Jack, aren't you really reaching here? And the answer to that is no. It was literally coined by a prominent neo-Nazi who spent the rest of his life in jail after assassinating a Jewish radio host. And other Nazis picked it up as a whole thing. Also, he's the guy that coined the 14
She's a conservative
words.
woman, so she's used to saying, oh, but I just don't understand, and everyone believing her because she's just a silly little girl.
God, Jack, that's numerology. I didn't come up with it, floofy otaku. A fucking Nazi came up with it. The 14 is the 14 words. I'm sorry, guys. I feel like I've been talking in circles here for a bit because I keep getting asked questions that I've already answered. And I feel like I've answered some of these questions like 4 or 5 times. Okay? So I'm going to do this because I'm very frustrated. All right. Because a lot of you still don't seem to understand. All right. This is the Wikipedia page for 14 words. The 14 words, also abbreviated 14 or 1488, reference to 2 slogans originated by American domestic terrorist David Eden Lane, one of the 9 founding members of the defunct white supremacist terrorist organization, The Order, and are accompanied by Lane's 88 precepts. The slogans have served as a rallying cry for militant white nationalists internationally. The primary slogan in the 14 words is, "We must secure the existence of our people and a future for white children."
One does not simply fall into Nazi talking points and dog whistles.
Like, this is not numerology. This is a very specific reference that you would only make if you understood this specific thing. People don't just pull out 1488 randomly and put it in their messaging on public media platforms. That just doesn't statistically happen ever. Basically, this is... Yeah, the 2 slogans were coined prior to Lane being sentenced to 190 years in federal prison for planning and abetting the assassination of the Jewish talk show host Alan Berg. Again, when we're talking about this isn't fucking numerology, or if it is, it grew a life of its own beyond that because Nazis are dumb as shit. They don't want to come out and say Heil Hitler because they're fucking cowards. They don't want to come out and say the 14 words because they're fucking cowards. And so they just jerk off with each other and be like, hee, look at all these fun little references we're making. Like, it's not controversial to say 1488 is associated with Nazis. If someone is putting that into their messaging, and ADHH tends to be the way they try and incorporate it in a subtle way, that would be just a lie.
I'm so angry. So angry. Sorry, Bridget. I'm actually kind of happy about it. Now, back to the point. My reason for bringing all of this stuff up and taking you guys through all of this is that this idea and this discourse hitting LinkedIn makes it a lot less fringe. Like, we've left X, we've moved on from TikTok, it's hit LinkedIn. I thought, okay, that's it. It has hit the mainstream. But then something happened this morning that was even better. This whole idea, this conversation, landed on Good Morning America as a totally serious and valid segment. Take a watch.
The play on words is being compared to Nazi propaganda with racial undertones.
The pun, good genes, activates troubling historical associations for this country. The American eugenics movement in its prime between like 1900 and 1940 weaponized the idea of good genes just to justify white supremacism.
Guys, that is a college professor. They brought a college professor onto Good Morning America to talk about why this is a dog whistle for eugenics. And there's so
Yeah, I guess you could only really talk about how that's like a silly, crazy thing if you thought that, I don't know, there isn't like history to different ideas, that, for example, advertising isn't something that is done intentionally. Like, if you think that it all just kind of comes together with no training or understanding, I suppose that would seem silly, but you usually need to get a degree in advertising to do advertising. Like, these people are educated. They would generally have enough background information to know what they're talking about when they are incorporating this messaging into their ads. So not only did they learn how to do what they're doing from college professors, but other college professors would also have an idea about what is being depicted in these ads, since, you know, they study ads. Huh, next year you're going to be telling me these people at film school think movies have ideas in them. Huh, not in my Marvel films.
many things that I want to say about this. First of all, before I forget this point, like, the left historically has not really cared about eugenics. Like, the right will bring up eugenics.
What the fuck are you talking about? The left hasn't historically cared about eugenics. What?
In terms of abortion and the fact that Planned Parenthood was started by a woman who was a proponent of eugenics. They don't care about that.
And that was bad. But it turns out people having access to abortion care is good. It turns out that that was good, actually. You know, sometimes horrible people do good things by accident in some cases. For example, a bunch of racist slave owners formed America. And like, I don't know, I think the idea of America can be pretty good. You know, I'm just spitballing here. I think we could be a lot better than we are. Just throwing that out there. But like, I don't know, I feel like we've consistently made this country a better place to be from what it was originally founded as.
They don't care about eugenics as a whole, as an idea. They only care.
Yes, we do. Stop doing it. Stop doing it. Stop carrying water for it. Stop incorporating it into our education system. Stop making references to race and IQ relationships that don't exist. Stop even using IQ as a measure of intelligence when that's not what it's for or does. Stop. But conservatives are the ones who get obsessed with this shit.
About it when it actually I was about to say fits into their agenda, but this doesn't even fit into this agenda. Like, this is not,
like, I'm sorry, Republicans are the ones who oppose like any of the laws in this country that protect the disabled. Republicans and conservatives have always been the ones who've been supportive of like programs that like killed the Indian to save the child, or like sterilized minority women so that they couldn't propagate their seed, like their you know, subpar genes. Like, that has always been a conservative position. Always. The people who carry water for those movements are conservatives to this day. Like, I'm sorry, but this is just not true. Like, you can go back and find like William F. Buckley fucking carrying water for eugenics in like the 60s and the 70s. Like, when the civil rights movement was in full swing in this country, there were appeals made by conservatives in academia and in like the journalistic press that like, oh, well, you know, we can't have integrated schools because the blacks are genetically inferior. Like, that was their genuine argument.
Women while forcing white women to give birth and call it anti-eugenics.
It's genuinely just insane to hear this. It's genuinely insane to hear this.
Not an example of eugenics. It is a joke. So stop saying that you suddenly care about eugenics.
Like, I'm sorry, the idea that like we like this country ever stopped having to contend with eugenics is just not true. You can only come to this conclusion if you don't know shit about shit. which I guess is Brett Cooper's brand.
Eugenics, when we have the most glaring example of this that is still so pervasive and prevalent in our society that we as taxpayers have been funding for years, this practice of abortion, Planned Parenthood. Don't say
abortion is healthcare. Abortion is healthcare. The reason that it was founded by eugenicists was so that they could specifically stop black people from having children. However, it turned out that everyone having abortion care was actually good and healthy. Like, it was the specific targeting of African American communities that was bad in their intent, but then it turned out, oh wait, a lot of other kinds of people want abortions too because they like having bodily autonomy. Yeah, maybe one day, maybe not right now, but maybe one day we'll take a look at this specific video here. All right, maybe we'll take a look at this specific episode of Firing Line with William F. Buckley Jr. All right, we're not showing this, but he has on here this guy named Shockley, who is a, extraordinarily well-known racist and eugenicist, to talk about his ideas. One day we'll maybe consider that.
Say that you suddenly care about this when you have turned a blind eye, not even just turned a blind eye, but when you have pointed at us, attacked us, and said, actually, no, that is good. Everything that is happening is good. It is empowering. I'm sorry. I can't take you seriously. I don't take the dog whistling seriously. I don't take the eugenics stuff seriously. Like, have some consistency, because this is just utterly ridiculous. What this is a lot of
Yes, he was also the guy who made the transistor. The guy who made a transistor went and founded a eugenicist society.
Jealous women. Like, seriously, like, having marketing and advertising be unattractive for years, and the body positivity movement, all of that stuff, it made them feel good about themselves because they didn't have anything to aspire to. It's like, hey, everybody looks like me, and it's not really that great. Now, Sydney Sweeney being conventionally attractive makes them feel less than, probably, because it's 2025. They then have to turn this into something that is a big societal problem that is happening to them, and of course it's rooted in racism and ableism and eugenics and
yeah, we have to cancel electricity, everybody. We have to. But yeah, just taking a little bit of a look at his Wikipedia here. He argued that a higher rate of reproduction among purportedly less intelligent people was having a dysgenic effect, and argued that a drop in average intelligence would lead to a decline in civilization. He also claimed that black people were genetically and intellectually inferior to white people, which is 100% what eugenics is. Eugenics is about making that particular value judgment and finding scientific pieces of data to try and make an argument that people with some genes are superior to people with other genes. It is just another way to have the conversation about, whether or not certain races of people should have the same rights as other races of people. Always has been that.
All of the things, when really it's just a bunch of women who...
Can someone explain dysgenic? Dysgenic is when you have essentially a decrease in different genetic traits. So, or a decrease in a certain genetic trait. So basically, when he's talking about a dysgenic effect, he means that, dumb people are having too many babies, and therefore civilization will, as a whole, get dumber and dumber and dumber as a result of the genetic material being propagated. And then civilization will at some point collapse.
Feel unattractive next to Sydney Sweeney, which, hey, that is a fine emotional response. There are sometimes that I will see an advertisement and somebody is super skinny and super fit, and I'll look at them and be like, I would love to look like that. Like, it's when you watch the old Victoria's Secret fashion shows, like the Angels, and you see them and you're like, oh my gosh, they are stunning. But it used to be that we would look at them and go, that's something to aspire to. That's awesome. Yeah, she's beautiful. I can appreciate that.
Yeah, that's fine. All of those things you can still do. The issue is there's a difference between doing that to a model in an ad and doing that to a model in an ad who looks at you and says, I have superior genes. Like there's a difference between those things, right? Like the value judgment attached to her genetic material is what makes it really weird.
I'm gonna go work out. I would love it if my arms looked like that, if my shoulders did. So I'm gonna go to a Pilates class, and I'm gonna aspire to that because she's so beautiful. And like Sydney Sweeney is conventionally attractive, and I think we should be able to look at her and go, oh yeah, she's beautiful. She looks great in those jeans. I wonder if I would look good in those. Maybe I should go buy them. But now, because of the body positivity movement, because we have now.
What do you mean? Because of what did the body positivity movement do to you? Did the body positivity movement steal your Pilates class away from you, Brett? Is that the issue?
Turned our entire society and culture onto its head, where everybody needs to make you feel good about yourself. That just can't be a thing anymore. And so we're seeing the...
What are you talking about? Genuinely, I want these people to show me how the body positivity movement hurt them. Because anytime one of these conservative fucks starts talking about how the body positivity movement is terrible or whatever, they never see, like, they always make a reference to someone they think is like overweight, but it's never about how it hurt them, you know? Like it was no skin off of your nose. Nobody hurt you when they said, hey, it's okay to be like XYZ weights, you know, as long as everything else is healthy with you, like knock yourself out. That doesn't hurt you. It also doesn't hurt them. Like their health is between them and their doctor. Is she playing dumb or is this genuine? I think it's, you know, why can't it be both? Why can't she just be genuinely dumb? I have to keep coming back to, she misspelled jeans earlier in the show.
Reaction to that being undone. Like, I'm sorry, but the tides are changing and people are no longer willing to go along with this idea that man...
I love body positivity, but I always remember the rules of the jungle. I'm bigger, stronger, and faster. I don't know that the rules of the jungle matter all that much when we have guns. Like, I don't know. Like, a child can pull a gun and kill, like, a 8-foot-tall hulking man beast.
Hating angry women with septum piercings who are overweight and have armpit hair are peak attractiveness. Like, if you think that's attractive, that's fine. A lot of people don't. And you're going to see them in advertisements. And I'm sorry, that's not white nationalism. That's not eugenics. That's not ableism.
Yeah, but again, you're sidestepping the entire thing. The issue isn't attractive people in ads. Honestly, thinking that is the case is genuinely shocking to me. Again, the question, are you this dumb? I don't think she is, but I think it's behooves her career to play this dumb, hopefully.
Or racism or whatever it is just conventional attractiveness. Now, the other thing that I want to talk about that I saw you guys do.
Sam Shapiro can't even come to terms that the hormones she took worked. How do you expect her to accept any obvious subtext?
Sometimes when we take our hormones, okay, we do get a little flighty in the head, just a little, and just these ideas, they're so hard. I'm kidding. That was a joke. Don't take that seriously. Hormones don't do shit about your brain except make you, you know, a little bit happier with who you are. I fear the baby with the desert eagle. That's the name of Quentin Tarantino's last film.
Debating in the comments was this idea about the ad being too sexual and the fact that there is basically like porn and everything. And this obviously was littered with a lot of, you know, sexual innuendo. She's lying on the floor. She's talking about her body, all of that stuff. That is certainly true. And I am, you know, somebody who does think that there is too much sex in our society, especially in Hollywood and TV shows. Like, I feel like everybody is just naked all the time. This didn't...
You know, this is weird because as a liberal, I also watch a lot of television. And I gotta say, I don't think people are naked all the time. So it really begs the question, Brett Cooper, what are you watching where people are naked all the time? As a liberal, look, can I take a capsule of cyanide? Can I die? Can I die on stream right now? As a socialist. Sorry, I got too into the conservative mind space. I got too into the conservative mind space, guys. Forgive me. Okay, I'll live for now.
Didn't really cross the line for me, and I'll tell you why. And that's because this ad, even though it was clever and funny, is basically an exact replica of a Calvin Klein ad that was done with Brooke Shields in 1980. Like, literally the exact same thing. She's rolling around on the ground.
You know what? Like, is that true? Calvin Klein ad with who?
putting on with Brooke Shields in 19.
Brooke Shields. Because if I watch this ad and I do not see her turn to the camera and talk about the need for eugenics and good genes, I'm going to be a little upset.
You want to know what comes between me and my Calvins? Nothing.
Calvin Klein jeans.
Wow. You know, I can't help but notice that she didn't look directly in the camera and talk about how she has superior genetic material. I can't help but notice that. Now, I have no doubt that there were other things wrong with this ad. No, Jack, you paused it too soon. Shields screamed Heil Hitler right after that. Oh, that explains a lot. God, she was 15 and they made her do a baby voice. Yeah, that's pretty gross. That being said, not eugenicist. Think that's an important point to walk away from that with.
1980, like literally the exact same thing. She's rolling around on the ground. She's like more naked than Sydney Sweeney was. Like she's in her underwear.
Oh God, she dated Prince Andrew shortly after. Jesus Christ, we're gonna talk about the Epstein stuff later on in today's show. But like, God damn, that's gross. That's so fucking gross.
Where fully pulling on the jeans from the get-go, like she is not even wearing the jeans at the start of the ad, rolling around on the floor, taking her hair out. She's saying the same things about genetics. It honestly is more about genetics than the Sydney Sweeney thing is. It was like a much longer ad, pulling down her hair, leaning, doing all of these things in her like normal Brooke Shields way. Like that was the ad, and it was in 1980. Now, obviously, we can be consistent and say, okay, well, that wasn't good either, but this is not some like new hypersexualized 2025 society thing. This is like been done in advertising, sex sells. And looking at this ad, like Sydney Sweeney.
Also, if we're talking about a similar ad around the same time and it's the one that she's describing, then it's an ad of like a 15-year-old girl in her underwear. Yeah, that's pretty fucked up, but in a completely different way.
Was obviously making a joke about her attractiveness. She was leaning into
and
it.
I'm not going to play that on my stream for obvious reasons.
There was like a sexual element to it, but she was clothed, thankfully. Like I have a greater problem with people who are like fully naked online. I have a bigger problem.
Why? Why do you have a problem with like adult people who don't have clothes on online? That's weird.
With the fact that Meta pushes sexual content, nude content on people with child accounts onto children. I have a
What nude content are you seeing on children's accounts? What are you talking about?
Bigger problem with Elon Musk's weird AI sex bot things that he's doing with Grok, like those.
Wait, but those are fully clothed. Wait, what? So that would be consistent. What's the issue? Like yeah, yes, I agree that that's gross, but like you're just like, oh yeah, people who are fully unclothed, they're gross. Say what you find objectionable and why. Just like actually engage with the topic.
Cross lines to me. I have a problem with basically every single TV show that I turn on having dits out and sexy.
Having dits out? Did she try and say dicks and tits at the same time?
I'm generally just disappointed this channel doesn't devolve into group ***** watching every stream. Way to waste a good opportunity, Jack.
Look, I'm sorry. I'm sorry that I can't give you guys the jack off opportunity you all desire. I'm sorry. I'm sorry. You guys can't be the jack offs. I'm sorry. That's just not the name this community can have.
It's like that is a line that crosses for me. But this, I think it's just because we've seen this in advertising for so long.
Did she censor herself from saying tits?
And she had clothes on. And maybe that's a problem in our society, and it's like the bars on the floor, Brett, and you're fine to call me out for that. That's okay. But in the grand scheme of our society and what I am most concerned about in terms of us becoming too over-sexualized and young people seeing that, this didn't send me over the edge. There are many other...
Brett, that phrasing, that phrasing isn't good in this particular situation. When you're talking about sexual scenarios... and you're talking about going over the edge, not a good combo of words to make this particular point. I'm going to move on.
Things that bother me a lot more. So that's kind of my opinion there. I think Sydney Sweeney is great. I appreciate the fact that she does ads like this, she does things like this, and she doesn't comment on it. Like, she doesn't fold to the woke mob or do anything like that. She isn't apologizing for anything. I remember there was that whole scandal a couple of years ago where she threw a 60th birthday party for her mom, and they had like MAGA hats that were like "Make 60 Great Again," and everybody was, you know, attacking her and saying that she was some Trump supporter. She needed to apologize.
Wait, I'm sorry. Okay, who said that she's not conservative? Who said Sydney Sweeney was just taking a paycheck? We're talking like several years ago. She was throwing a MAGA themed birthday party. Yeah, I think we can case close this one.
She posted and was like, guys, like, give it up. It was my mom's 60th birthday. Like, there's nothing wrong with that. And basically just made a joke about it. Didn't apologize, didn't do anything. I think that she is somebody who stays above the fray. She does what she wants to do. She promotes what she wants to promote. She does not apologize for her body or being attractive. She doesn't apologize for making MAGA-inspired hats. And I think that that is the best way to be. I think that she is probably a much happier person than a lot of the people commenting on her and making videos about her. So props to her. I think it was a great shoot. I hope she rewarded herself with a great Good Rancher steak after that shoot, because that is how you stay in shape, Good Ranchers.
What?
Now, guys, by the time this episode ends, another family farm in America will have shut down because...
Oh my God. Oh, these people with their sudden ad breaks. Okay. Yeah, you want to look like Sydney Sweeney, you got to eat some conservo steak. Oh my God. Well, anyway, I don't think Brett Cooper knows what eugenics is. I don't think she knows what good jokes are. And I definitely don't think she knows how to spell genes. So I think we've all come away from this a little bit richer in some ways and a little bit poorer in potentially many more ways. I hope you all enjoyed that, because I don't know if I did, but man, what a journey we've been on. That did not, that was probably a lot longer than this topic deserved. And yet, I hope you enjoyed the ride. Remember to like, comment, and subscribe, folks. My editor tells me to say that. And, sometimes you guys tell me it helps. So remember to do that. Do the things that help the show, you silly little billies.
Riverboat Jack is coming to town. All the viewers gather round. Twitch and YouTube is where she streams. All that content is bursting the seams. Politics, being plenty more. Her sense of fashion you'll adore. So grab your stuff and hop aboard. We're going straight to Jack's Discord.